I often find myself down in southern Utah in the early spring looking for bees and camping with my family. This April, my family and I found an isolated plateau to do some hiking and camping, and we found some cool bees. We also noticed one plant in particular, Manzanita, was really attractive to these early spring bees. So in the spring, the weather can be quite variable. Sometimes it's sunny and nice. The next minute it can be cloudy and rainy. In fact, we went from 65 degrees some afternoons down to 40 degrees about 30 minutes later. But we did find a lot of good bees, like this male Eucera sunning itself. Even some female Eucera were out. We saw more males than females, but here's a female collecting some nectar and pollen. We also saw several butterflies. A lot of the bees we saw were Andrena, the mining bees. And Andrena are known for sunning themselves on the flowers or on the ground. And here's a male on the backside of this leaf getting warm. Also, the females would sit on the flower and sun themselves. In order to come out this early in the spring, they have to warm their flight muscles enough to be able to fly around and forage. And basking in the sun does that for them. In addition to the Andrena, we saw other things too. This is a bombyliid fly, a bee fly, visiting these flowers for nectar. We also saw various sweat bees in the family Halictidae. This one here is a lasioglossum. Another lasioglossum. At the bottom of those Manzanita flowers, she has to stick her tongue way back up in the flower to get nectar. At the end of our trip, we started seeing some mason bees. Here's a male osmia sunning itself on a log. We only saw a few, but here's one of the female osmia we saw. When it turns around a little bit, you can see some of that bright metallic bluish-green color that these mason bees are famous for. You can also hear my kids playing in the background. So some of the most efficient pollinators of Manzanita are some of these larger bees that are able to buzz pollinate. This is a habropoda, and if you listen carefully, you can hear her buzz pollinating these flowers when she lands upside down. She'll vibrate her body at a certain frequency, causing the pollen to come out. But not all visitors of Manzanita are good pollinators of this plant. In fact, a lot of bees can't get to the nectaries, so they simply bite a hole in the base of the plant like this. We call these nectar robbers. This allows the bee or the other bugs to get access to the nectar without actually pollinating the plant. And so we saw lots of other insects taking advantages of these nectar robbing holes. For example, this fly is getting a sweet sip of nectar, which it would be unable to access if some bee hadn't come beforehand and bit holes in the bottom of the plant. A lot of the small bees also take advantage of these holes that are made by the larger bees. This is a little sweat bee that am potentially pollinating it, but instead it's choosing to go to the base of the flower where that hole has been made. So nectar robbing is pretty common in lots of different kinds of flowers. So like I said, the weather can change on a dime in these early spring times. One afternoon, it changed from sunny and warm to suddenly cloudy and raining. What do the bees do during these weather changes? Well, we noticed several bees, like this female Andrena, just sitting on a rock. You can hear the wind in the background, but she's just sitting there waiting for the sun to come back out. So thanks for watching. Manzanita, it's a pretty good early spring bee plant.